Hi everyone! Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Alex and as always so grateful for you to be joining me today. I have for us a really lovely yummy practice for a back pain. We all know about back pain, we all experience it with this constant sitting at the desk, working from home. The back can get really stiff, really painful, knotted. I know that from my own experience, so nothing better than tend to the body, connect with ourselves and find what feels good for us in our body on our mat today. So get yourself comfortable, do whatever you have to do, and then whenever you're ready, we will begin lying flat on our back. So get yourself situated, and there is absolutely no rush getting there. But eventually we will meet lying flat on the back with the feet wide and knees sort of coming together in the middle. So the feet wide, knees together, hands wherever they would feel most comfortable. For me, especially recently, just bringing the hands behind the head feels really nice. If you want to bring them to the heart center, or one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, that could be also a really nice idea. When we arrive, let's take a deep breath in and a deep sigh out. Noticing how we're feeling today. What are the whispers of the heart? What is the body craving? And if you don't really have any back pain as such today, this is still a really great way to sort of understand and realize that yoga really has our back and the most sort of genuine sense of this phrase. And it's just a great way to tap in, to check in with the body, check in with the mind. So as you're lying here, let's just bring attention to that back and maybe even scan it from the top to the bottom, all the way from the upper back to the lower back. Noticing any sensations, maybe we do have some knots, any pains. Maybe you've been really stressed and the neck is feeling quite tight. So a little gentle rock side to side would feel really nice. And finding a place where we can really rest for a moment before any bigger movement comes, before we start to move with a bit more purpose. Let's just take these seconds to inquire. How am I feeling? What do I need? How is my physical body, the emotional, energetic body? And all along, breathing deep into the heart space, into the back. And from here, let's slowly begin to bring the knees wider and heel-toe the legs. So they now sort of hip width apart. And gently bringing the knees to the chest, let's give ourselves a big squeeze. Massaging the lower back here, already working and tending to it. Rocking side to side, maybe even still engaging the head. And eventually bringing hands to the knees. Bringing them wide to the side and back to center. Little circles here. Breathing, opening and closing through the groin. Rocking up and down slightly. Massaging that sacrum area. And if the feet want to get involved as well, please be my guest. It's quite difficult to coordinate that, but it's just the intention, and we can always have fun and just explore how it feels. So it doesn't need to be anything even resembling yoga. Whatever feels right for you, that's where you should go. Whenever you had enough, after reversing that circles that we've been doing, let's bring the legs back to the mat, the feet firmly planted to the ground, and just extending for the right leg now. And if you haven't done any practice for a while, that probably is going to feel quite strong in the backs of the thighs and backs of the calves. So gently just with the intention of sort of pointing the feet towards our nose, let's flex and point the foot a couple of times. The left leg is not moving at all, just working here. And if the right knee bends, absolutely not a problem. Just a couple of times, tending to the side, maybe even rolling for the ankle a couple of times, one way and then the other. Eventually bringing the right ankle on top of the left thigh. And of course we can stay here or slowly begin to lift that left leg. The toes are flexed of the left foot. And either stay here with the intention of bringing the right knee away from the body, or threading the hands underneath that right calf and getting hold of the back of the left hamstring. And rocking seat here in this figure 4 place. Maybe closing the eyes and noticing how it feels. Again, so much love for that lower back here. And also nice opening through the outer right hip. Maybe you feel it in the groin as well. Just explore here. If the left leg wants to straighten, let it do so. And just a couple of times, small, rocking up and down, left and right. Eventually releasing that left leg. Unraveling the right and just gonna journey into the other side, same thing. Left leg rises, we bring in the hands behind, this time the left thigh. And again, flexing and pointing through that left toes. Rolling through the ankle. And really engaging here and paying attention to all these sensations that we're experiencing. There is much more going on than meets the eye, so stay curious and let's try and broaden that awareness today. We don't have long together, but let's make the most out of it and really try and listen to what the body is saying. Left ankle now just above the right knee, either right foot on the floor, or maybe we threading the needle as well here and clasping the hands behind the right thigh. Once again, rocking side to side, left to right. Breathing, feeling, connecting to that inner wisdom, because end of the day, we all know really deep within where we should go and how we should move. It is the question of giving ourselves permission to really explore without necessarily feeling judged or comparing ourselves to others. You are at home, probably, when you're practicing this with me. So really allow yourselves to explore all the sensations and all the movements. One last breath, inhale. And as we exhale, gently lowering that right leg to the earth, bringing the left foot onto the floor and gently rocking the knees side to side here. A couple of times, dropping them. They don't have to necessarily touch the floor. It's just the intention, and it should feel really, really nice. It's an extra little booty massage. So go like this a couple of more times, and eventually we will land onto our left side with both knees facing to the left. Gaze over to the right, maybe extending for the right hand. Maybe the left hand extends as well. And if that feels enough in that right side, right hip, stay there. Otherwise, maybe bringing that left ankle on top of the right knee. Gentle twist here. Should feel really, really yummy. The lower back will lift now, gently arching through the spine and breathing here. Just for 3 breaths. Inhale. Deep exhale. Twice more, deep inhalation. Breathe through the entire right side body. Last one. Deep inhale. And as we exhale, the head is facing to the right, bring it back to center. The knee, the left ankle can release now. Journeying back to the right now, the knees dropping to the right side. Gaze over to the left and either stay here, or maybe that right ankle will now be we place it on top of the left knee or left thigh. And again, 3 breaths here, noticing how it feels comparing to the other side. Last one, inhale. As we exhale, gently release, bring the knees to the chest and begin to rock up and down the spine. That in itself is a really nice and yummy way to wake up for the spine. And if you're doing that in the morning especially, you're more than welcome to stay here for a couple of more rounds, rocking, maybe crossing for the ankles, and eventually coming through to our tabletop. When we arrive, let's make sure that we are beautifully aligned so that our wrists are directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath those hips, and gently begin to introduce some cat-cow-like movement. And I say cat-cow because we might feel that we want to do something different and that what I'm doing doesn't necessarily resonate. So again, where is that permission to move in a way that feels good for you? The typical sort of classical cat-cow might not work today. So really notice and feel into the body. And even those little spinal waves here are really nourishing for the spine. So in whatever way you're moving, make sure you breathe. And that will be enough. Maybe moving through those rivers a couple of times. Coming almost to a child's pose and then back up. Engaging through their neck as an additional way to give ourselves that extra love and care. Maybe bumping to the hips to one side and then the other. What feels right for you? Eventually crawling through the toes and slowly lifting up to our downward facing dog. But no panic, we're not staying for long. It's just to wake up the legs a little bit and tend to the entire body. Notice how the hands are placed on the mat. Really spread them wide today. In fact, every day. Every time we come to downward facing dog, we should make sure that the hands are spread wide, like almost like spider webs. Pushing to the index finger and thumb and just pedaling the feet here a couple of times. Yeah, it feels good. Rising into our tiptoes, really sending the sit bones high up to the sky and then lowering the heels down. Twice more, inhale if you're coming with me. Gaze towards the belly button or the knees. Down. Last one, inhale. As we exhale, gently bringing the knees down to the floor. Dropping the belly, cow pose. Deep breath here, anchor. Can't really push away from the floor with the hands and exaggerate that movement. Open through the back body, allow the shoulder blades to separate. And eventually come to neutral. Deep breath in. Deep breath out, child's pose, knees wide, dropping the sit bones towards the heels and melting the heart towards the floor. Noticing how does it feel in the body. And if the sit bones don't touch the heels straight away, don't worry about it. Maybe it's going to happen this week, this month, maybe this year, or maybe never. And that's often just the way we build. It's nothing to do often with how hard we practice or how advanced our yoga is. Last inhale. And as we exhale, begin to round the spine once again, come back up, tabletop. The right hand will lift and we inhale, left hand plants to the floor. And as we exhale, thread the needle here, right hand underneath the left armpit. Twice more like that, inhale. Exhale, thread the needle. Last one, inhaling, opening through the chest, breathing deep. And as we exhale, threading the needle, and this time staying for 3 breaths. If you want to extend through the left leg as an additional stretch, or even bringing that left leg to the side, grabbing hold of the toes with the right hand, binding with the left. All the options here. So we can be here with the left leg just extended behind us, or maybe just first, the easier option is where we want to be today. Slowly bring yourselves back up, right arm lifts one last time. And exhale back to center. If you want a little cat-cow just to sort of reset everything, please be my guest. Let's come back to neutral in a tabletop, and this time extending through the left arm all the way to the sky. Exhale, threading the needle here underneath the right arm. Inhale again, lift up. Exhale, thread the needle. Last time, inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, and we stay again for 3 breaths. Where do you want to be? In this more classical version, maybe extending through the right leg, or maybe bringing that right leg all the way to the side. Getting hold of the right toes with the left hand. Binding if that feels right for you today. But really, whatever you do, make sure that we breathe all the way into that back body. The upper, middle and the lower back, inflating with air, with life, with energy. Last inhale. And as we exhale, slowly begin to unravel. Last inhalation brings the left hand all the way up to the sky and then down into the earth. Dropping the belly, looking up to the sky, and exhaling, last rounding. From here, just extend through the right leg, fix your hair, and a couple of times, just rocking back and forth, eventually bringing that right leg up and off the mat, and exhaling, moving into our pigeon from here, or a swan in yin. So threading that right leg forward and stepping it roughly, to be honest, it doesn't really matter where it is. It doesn't need to be it doesn't have to be parallel to the top of the mat. Let's completely drop the idea that this is the only perfect yoga pose there is. Make sure that you're comfortable, and if bringing a pillow underneath that right glute feels right for you today, please do it. Slowly coming down into the floor, however low or high that feels right for you. So maybe for some of us, we stay here, maybe lowering to the forearms, or maybe all the way down into the ground. Take 3 breaths. We're nearly there. Breathing deep. Slowly begin to unravel on the next inhalation. Lift yourselves back up. And just coming back to our tabletop. Same thing, different side. Extending through the left leg now. Rocking side to side. And as we inhale, bringing the left leg off the floor and gently threading it forward, placing the shin on the earth in front of us. pigeon. As always, if this left glute is flying out into the sky, maybe a pillow underneath would be beneficial today. And find a place where you feel comfortable. Left side might feel completely different to the other. So let's pay attention. 3 breaths wherever you are. And that should feel extra yummy in the in the hips as well. For me, the groin on the left side is also speaking quite loud. So pay attention. Release through the neck. Last breath. Inhaling. And exhaling slowly, rising back up. Coming to our tabletop. And then all the way to seated and cross-legged. Sukhasana, or whichever other variation you find most appropriate today. Bringing the hands together in this sort of pren and clasping them behind the head, making like a little hammock with the hands, opening and pushing the chest forward. Inhale. And as we exhale, elbows coming to the center, lowering the chin to chest and bringing the elbows towards the floor. Inhale again, lift up, push the chest forward. Maybe the eyes closed. Exhale, chin to chest, elbows are trying to kiss each other. Last one, inhale. Nice. Exhale, chin to chest. Stay there for 5 breaths. Should feel amazing and really strong in the back body, maybe in the neck as well. So unless there is any pain, any burning sensation, stay with me. How does it feel? Can you lower even more? Can you go deeper? Give yourself permission to explore. When you've done your 5 breaths, on the next inhale, slowly begin to unravel. Bringing the hands down to the floor, or maybe on the knees, and taking a moment here. Noticing how it feels, how the body feels, comparing to when we started. Just taking a last little moment here before we come into our twist and Shavasana. When you're ready, gently transporting ourselves back onto our back. All the way down to the floor. The knees can come together. Open your hands to the capital T shape once again. And either just bring both knees to one side, or maybe moving into a twisted root. So wrapping right leg around the left once or twice. Shuffling our hips towards the right and gently dropping the knees towards the left. Gaze is over the right hand. The intention is to really lower that right shoulder towards the floor as much as possible. In a moment here, in that juicy, revitalizing, re-energizing twist. So good for the body. Massaging the internal organs, bringing new fresh blood to the entire body. Last breath. And as we exhale, slowly begin to unravel. Same thing, just different side. This time left leg wraps around the right. Scooching ourselves towards the left side and then just dropping the knees towards the right. Maybe some clicks in the spine. I definitely can always hear them. Gaze over the left arm, eyes can close now. Breathing deeply, opening through the heart space as well. How does it feel? Last inhale. And exhale, slowly release. Come through to center. Extend the legs out long. Arms either by your side, or if you want to bring them into this big V shape, you're more than welcome. Shavasana, always there. The best part of the practice. If you wish to stay longer, you can pause this video, get a blanket, a pillow under head, and just stay there as long as you want. Allowing the nutrients of the practice now sink in, pour over us. Gently wiggling fingers and toes, allowing the movement to come back in. Maybe rolling through the ankles and the wrists, bringing the knees to the chest, and however you want to get there in your own time, roll back to seated with the hands in prayer at the heart center. Gratitude for the practice and for this body, knowing that what we cultivate on the mat, that compassion, kindness and care for ourselves will allow us to care for others, be kind to others and loving. Have a wonderful day or evening. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, for choosing this video. Subscribe to the channel or head to my website, hearttosoulyoga.com, for all the class updates and all the info you might need. From my heart to yours. Namaste.